concept of the restaurant sounds cliche now because so many people are doing it, but farm to table, and we've been doing it for about 15 years now. We owned our other restaurant in town, 6th Street Bistro, which we just sold this past January, and so we're doing it there, and we opened Celilo in 2005, and we even get to do it on a greater scale here because the quantity of people that come through is smaller, and so we're really able to focus in on the local farms. In the summer, almost everything is coming from the Columbia Gorge, with the exception of fish and some of our meat sources, but our meat sources are free range or naturally raised as well. And the seafood that we use we try to look on the Marine Bay Watch and make sure that the fish that we're using are sustainable. And we get it from Newman's Fish Company out of Portland, which we find is the greatest source for seafood in this area. So with the cuisine, almost everything coming from the Pacific Northwest, it is a no-brainer for most of the wines to come from Oregon, Washington. But Oregon and Washington are just becoming so prominent in the wine industry. Oregon, obviously, for Pinot Noirs, and Washington, Syrahs and Cabs. But in this area, there are so many other varietals as well. A lot of Rhone varietals are being grown here. James and Poppy Montone from Syncline have a large range of Rhone varietals, and Zinfandel from Lonnie Wright in the Dells, and Riesling and Pinot Gris, Gewürztraminer, Malbecs now, and lots of other varietals are grown in this area. And it's just, agriculture is such a prominent part of life in Oregon and Washington, and it's really, I think, helping the farmers gain some ground. Some of them, unfortunately, are ripping out orchards, apples and pears, to replant grapes and vines, but at least it's staying agricultural land. And I think a lot of times they're making more money, and not a lot of money because they're farmers. It's the love of the land, but it's becoming such an important economic way of life around here. Is wines. There's so many wineries around here, and now there's more and more breweries. It's really a draw for people to come out to the gorge and go wine tasting or beer tasting. And that with the economy, a lot of folks are staying closer to home. So the hour trip to the coast, or the hour trip to Mount Hood, or the hour trip to Hood River is really becoming more appealing and a lot more affordable for people. And there are packages, we have the Hood River Hotel right across the street, and they do ski packages and winter packages, and it's really great. We've been seeing a lot of Portland folks that are becoming regulars. We have some people now that just come out to have dinner and drive back, which is, for us, that's a real treat to hear that. Our house wine, they change quite a bit. I try to keep it a little fresh, but Peter Rosbeck from Shanann offered to make us a house Pinot Noir this year, which we're really excited about. He has been a great supporter of ours at Celilo and previously at 6th Street, and we have been buying Peter's wine for at least a dozen years, and he's one of our favorite winemakers, and just a great person. And we were so excited when he offered us that opportunity that we jumped at it. So our house Pinot Noir, he even wanted our label on it, and so that's really exciting.
Another thing that I noticed quickly about your wine list was the 375 program that you have here.
I am a big fan of the 375. I enjoy it at home. My boyfriend and I can have one nice glass of wine, or a very healthy glass of wine, and not have to worry about storing it, not worrying about finishing the bottle, or and we have a lot of couples come in to eat, and one person wants red, one person wants white, and they want to just venture a little bit more than the just house selections. And so they get 2 half bottles, or start with a split of champagne and then go on to a half bottle of Pinot Noir. And a lot of sometimes buying a full bottle of wine gets expensive, and people think, why not try 2 different bottles of Pinot Noir instead of 1? And so it gives people an opportunity to try different wines. And I was born and raised in Cape Cod, Massachusetts, in Chatham. Went to high school there, and from there, my father was in the restaurant business, and I swore I'd never do it, but here I am. I went to college in Colorado for 4 years. I received my degree in English. Then I didn't want to go back to Cape Cod after I graduated from college, and one of my friends from college was moving to Hood River, Oregon, and convinced me that it was a good idea. And so I convinced one of my friends, and we moved out here in 1993 and signed a 6-month lease and got a job at Mount Hood and had a great time. It was a really fun time to move here. I literally saw tumbleweeds going down the street. I moved here in October, and it's really grown a lot since then.